Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 11th of October. So let's look at the events that potentially could create an impact on the markets. Well, really the majors coming up now. We've already had German inflation out, which because of the way it's all measured, it's the European as a whole, it doesn't seem to have such an impact, but we'll look at that in a moment. But for now, the key things is the Producers Price Index coming out this afternoon at 1:30. We've got some speakers, we've got a number of speakers actually today, starting from 9:15 actually, a Fed speaker. Then we've got an ECB speaker at 9:15 as well. ECB speaker at 12. So there's a few speakers dotted through the day, then 3:15, normal sort of times that we see them, 4:15. ECB speaker. So yeah, number of speakers. It's speaker season. They all get wheeled out for one reason or another. So it's just really a case. I mean, I use Financial Juice for just checking on speakers when it loads, of course. There we go. They'll give you timing of speakers, but you can be aware of them, but really I trade through most of them these days. Right, unless of course it's an important speech. So you just need to watch out for when the Fed, the main Fed speakers, the chair is speaking. Right, let's have a look at these markets then. So inflation, well, we've seen inflation. German inflation did come out at 4.5 versus 4.5 CPI year on year, so it's pretty in line. Inflation isn't going away. There's with this high price of oil, it's having a knock-on effect, and it's going to, unfortunately, mean that inflation is going to hang around for longer than some may have predicted, and it puts more pressure on interest rate increases, etc. Technically, then, the market, the euro's catching more of a bounce. It's there was a shorter term trend line which it broke through. It's look, we're on 2, 4, 5. We've had 5 days on a row. Can we push on through and head up towards that monthly pivot? At the moment, I'd quite like to see it run into that monthly pivot. It'd be a good test of the structure of this market. It has, on the shorter time frames here, put the higher lows in. So we've now had 2 confirmed higher lows in. There's a so there is a trend up there at this stage, intermediate trend, but it's there all the same. You can see it on the shorter time frames. It's a little clearer. So markets are very, I mean, in the bigger scheme of things, they're still bearish on the euro, but there's cracks in it, and it could still have a bit more of a push. I'm not suggesting it will continue for a long time though, hence why I'm looking at the monthly pivots. The pound's the same here. It's got the monthly pivot sitting there. I hadn't drawn the trend line on here. Let's just pop the trend line across if I can. It's always the top there. You can never draw on here. There we go. Let's just pop that. I just want to place it on there. There we go. So you'll see where the trend line is here again. Gradual, choppy ride upwards. You see green, red, but we're just getting the more of the greens, or bigger greens than reds at the moment. But still pushing up within this sort of wider channel that's sort of sitting there. Okay. That's the pound. I haven't got trades on these. It's just really seeing if they run into these into the pivots there for now, because this is just ugly where it's sitting. So nothing sitting there at this stage. Dollar yen. Come out to bigger time frames again. It's continuing to chop here. I closed off my position. I was short on this. It's just not happening in any sort of hurry. It was more of looking for a bigger swing position, but I'll wait until we start seeing a bit more of a breakdown. For now, it's there's no point being in the risk. It really goes against my principles being short in a market like this, which has been pushing up, but it was more of a fundamental reason. I was looking to be short there, and it's not come to anything. It did the big spike last week, and that was out. So for now, sitting out of this, it's into a sort of pennanty wedgie pattern. And these can go either way. They're difficult to follow, so they're quite random basically. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussie's been pushing up as well. It is into its monthly pivot, ran into it yesterday, having a bit of reaction, more likely into the 50, but has put the higher lows, higher highs in there. We're just seeing it turning a little bit here. It hasn't quite caught the daily R1. Could push on. We'll see how it reacts after 8 o'clock, but could push on upwards there. Looking solid on the shorter time frames. US dollar CAD. This is a bit of an oddity. It's, well, I say it's odd. It's sitting bang into its daily 34 at the moment. It's still got its pivot underneath. Still got potential to roll over. It's consolidating around the lows here. I've got a short position running on this at the moment. It's not really gone anywhere at all. Sideways, up and down. Anyway, it's we'll see what happens post 8 o'clock, but not looking to enter it. I'm already short on it. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, pretty similar to the Aussie, but stronger. Same sort of price actions, had some decent movements up there, quite solid overall. It looks like again this could push on. If it can get back above the pivot there, it's got the chance of running up towards the L1 as the day goes through. Dollar Swissy still going southbound here, and again got the quarterly pivot on this one, which would be quite a nice target. So we got these sort of retracements at the moment. It's got to be careful of them because it could just as easy switch back on us. We've got Fed speakers coming out, etc. We've got inflation later. If the inflation came out particularly high, we could see quite a switch around on these markets very quickly. So just beware of this afternoon. Likes the euro yen still. Truth, it's horrible and ugly, and it did actually earn me some money yesterday, so I shouldn't be complaining too much, but it's only on the short term frames. It's drifting back up there. It's pretty much closed the gap now. It's, as I say, it's just been one of those that's not done a great deal over the time, and I just don't like bars like this. Euro Aussie, let's just have a quick look through the usual suspects. Euro Aussie really, it's a mess. If you can't see it obviously on these higher time frames, I'm not interested. I was looking on the likes of EURJPY for continued rollovers, but really yesterday they just continued up here a little bit too strong in the end, and it's messed things up. It's in a messy old situation. It's between a rock and a hard place. I'm not interested when they like this. Euro New Zealand pushed up, turned round yesterday. I'm looking for reactions in trend, but it's they're quite messy at the moment. So a lot of mess out there as we're waiting to see if some of these markets actually get back into trend. At the moment they're just sort of going counter, and they're doing it quite well, so we could see more of this counter trend. Looking at pound Aussie, it's a mess. I was just flicking through these quite quickly on 60 minutes, and there's very little here. Pound CAD's been doing better. For me, it becomes more interesting if it can break the highs here. It'll give us a higher low, and I expect a little bit more from it. But there we go. As usual suspects, not a great deal there, but some potential, I guess. It may be that I just continue sitting in what I'm in and leave it. Looking at the gold. So gold, hey, is edging edging upwards slightly. I mean, not much of a day yesterday, and it's edged up a little bit. Still got this gap way back, and I don't like gaps being left there. Silver, similarish, similar picture without the gap. Maybe silver's back on the run as well. They might both be looking for a bit more upside now. This uncertainty certainly helps gold. Oil, well, it's starting to consolidate where it is here. It's not consolidating around low. Again, it's got the gap underneath. I don't really like that, but if we start seeing it break and push, well, that gap might be filled at a later date. I'm sure it will be. Right, equity markets, quick look, S&Ps. Just seeing consolidation on the S&Ps at the moment. It has run into its quarterly pivot there and reacted quite strongly off them. I'm just looking there. Yep, it just pitched through, reacted. That's yesterday afternoon there. It reacted, and now it's just consolidated away from the highs. Looks a bit soft and ugly. I don't like it when it consolidates away from the highs. This is consolidating it. Of course, it can still step back up, but it looks to me like it's more likely to go to the downside at the moment. Right, other US markets, they're all pretty similar. They're running together. The Dow still hasn't made it, either of its monthly pivot or the quarterly pivot at the moment. The Nasdaq's a little bit more ahead of things. It's just running a little bit stronger. It's got, if you want to be looking on the long side, it's got perhaps the best opportunities. DAX off a bit at the moment from the open, but turning the corner maybe. It's got higher lows coming through there, showing a bit more positivity at the moment. Would be interesting to see if it what its reaction is to its daily pivot. If it can push up there, great. But what it's doing is, I was talking about the consolidation away from the highs here. Well, it's consolidated away from the high, and it's running down. This is why I don't like consolidations away from highs or lows. So looking a bit maybe iffy. But let's see what happens on the pivot. Cable's doing a similar thing here, so it's just consolidation away from the highs. That isn't to say at some point they won't reverse. It's just that they're weak. Right, okay, that's it for me today. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now. Okay, that's that then.